Hi, today I am going to make a video that shows the examples from the mole ratios notes. And so if you need to go back and watch them in the future, watch them a little fast, a little slower, sorry about that. That's what this is for. So in any case, this is our first example, and we are going to first balance this equation of N2 plus H2 makes NH3. And then we're going to figure out how many moles of hydrogen are needed to react with 2 moles of nitrogen. So the first step in any mole ratio problem is that we need a balanced equation. The balanced equation is important because the coefficients from that equation are going to be what we use as the numbers in our conversion. So let's go ahead and balance this guy. So we've got N2 plus H2 makes NH3. So I'm going to set up my T-table so that I can keep a tally of how many of each element I have. So my first element I have here is nitrogen. Then I have hydrogen, and I have those same elements on the other side. Of course, this is expected because of the law of conservation of matter. If you have one element on the left, you better still have it on the right, or else the whole universe is going to go wacky. So all right, so how many nitrogens do I have? The subscript 2 tells me I have a total of 2 nitrogens on this side. And the hydrogen also has a subscript 2, which tells me I have 2 atoms of that. On the other side, this nitrogen does not have a subscript. So therefore, we know that there's only 1 atom of nitrogen on this side. And the hydrogen has a subscript 3, so we'll put that there. So now in order to balance this, I have nitrogen with 2 on this side and only 1 on this side, hydrogen with 2 on this side and 3 on this side. I always balance things in the order that is the easiest first, hoping that by balancing the easy ones, it will help me to fix some of the harder ones and make them a little bit better. So basically, I'm going to choose to balance my nitrogen first because that's the easier one. So if I have only 1 nitrogen and I need to make 2, I can just put a coefficient 2 multiplier in front of that compound. So 2 times the N will change this from being only 1 nitrogen to having 2. But we also have to remember that we have to distribute this to the hydrogen as well because it's a part of the same compound. So 2 times 3 is 6. So now I can check off my nitrogens. They are balanced, right? I have 2 here and I have 2 here. My hydrogens, I have 2 on this side and 3 on this side. But the good news is I know that 2 times 3 equals 6. So I can just put a 3 coefficient in here. So 3 times 2 makes 6. And I have those guys are balanced as well. So basically my balanced equation is N2 plus 3H2 makes 2 NH3. So that's step 1. Step 1 is for us to balance our equation. So we're good with that. Now that we have our balanced equation, we want to start thinking about how to set up our conversion to use the mole ratio. So in order to do that, we need to go back and read our problem, and we want to find the things that we know, and we want to find what we want to know. So I'm going to go back. It says how many moles of hydrogen, H2, are needed to react with 2 moles of nitrogen. So anything that has a quantity like this 2, that is something that we know. So we know that we are starting off with 2 moles of nitrogen, which is N2. So what we want to know is whatever is saying how many. So it says how many moles of hydrogen. So we want to know how many moles of hydrogen. So now that we know what we already know and we know what we want to know, now we can go ahead and start putting these things into a mole ratio in order to find the answer. So when we use a mole ratio, we always start with what we know and putting it over 1. So in this case, what we know is 2 moles of N2. So I'm going to go 2 moles of N2, and I'm going to put that over 1. Now, I'm putting it over 1 just so that I keep it on the top of the fraction so that when I'm multiplying and dividing things, I don't actually do the wrong order of operations to this information here. Remember that putting anything over 1, dividing by 1 is just keeping its value. So this is just sort of to set up my fractions. So because I want this to remember that this is on the top. Some people don't do this. It's okay if you can remember that this should be treated as the top of a fraction, and without writing it, you could do that. But I always put it over 1 just so that I don't accidentally do the wrong thing. Okay, so this brings me to my mole ratio. So a mole ratio is called a mole ratio because it has moles on both the top and on the bottom. So this is where we change our substance. So the substance we're starting with is N2. So we're trying to find out about H2. So we want to set it up so that N2 cancels out. So moles of N2 needs to go on the bottom so I can cancel this unit. And moles of H2 is going to go on the top because that's the one that I'm trying to find out, right? So I have moles of N2 on the bottom of my ratio, moles of H2 on the top, and then the numbers, the values that go into the mole ratio come directly from your balanced equation. So I'm going to find H2 in my balanced equation, and it's right here. And the coefficient from H2 is 3. So I'm going to write 3. Then I'm going to find N2 in my balanced equation, and it's right here. And the coefficient in front of N2, well, it doesn't have one. So if it doesn't have a coefficient, you just put 1. So this is what I'm going to multiply that by. So now I have this set up so that moles of N2 is on the top here and on the bottom there, which means that we can cancel that out. And now that I have canceled out the units I started with and I have the units I'm looking for, I can go ahead and start my doing the arithmetic part, doing the math. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the top things by the top things. So I'm going to go 2 times 3, and then this has still got a unit because it's not canceled out, so I have to write it. And I'm going to write moles of H2. And then on the bottom, what it's divided by is 1 times 1, which is just 1. But this is not always going to be a 1 down here. A lot of times it will be a different number. So now that we have sort of multiplied, you always multiply the top stuff by the top stuff, bottom stuff by the bottom stuff. Now I can simplify this a little bit. So I can say 2 times 3 is 6 moles of H2 over 1 times 1 is just 1. And that, of course, becomes just 6 moles of H2. And that is our final answer. So that's how you do example 1. And now I'm going to go ahead and work example 2 for you as well. So here's example 2. This is going to be pretty similar to exactly the process we were doing example 1. So we always start off by balancing our equation. So our equation this time is carbon monoxide plus oxygen gas gives us carbon dioxide. I'm going to set up my t-table so I can tally my elements and make sure that I have the same number on the left as on the right. So my first element is carbon and my second is oxygen. And I'm going to copy those on the other side in the same order. Now I'm going to go through and I'm going to figure out how many atoms of each of those elements I have on each side of the equation. So carbon has no subscript, so that means we have 1. This oxygen is a little bit tricky. That's why this example is a little bit harder than the last one. So what we're going to do is we have to count them up because we have oxygen over here, but also we have it right here. So we have 1 oxygen here plus 2 oxygens here gives me a total of 3. On this side, I have 1 carbon. Oxygen has a subscript of 2, so I have 2 of those. Another reason why this one is a little bit harder is because this is a little bit more difficult to balance. So see how our carbons look like they're already balanced to begin with, but our oxygens are not? This sort of can sometimes, students can sometimes feel a little bit stuck, like, oh shoot, what do I do now? So whenever you have a 3 and a 2, this is a really common thing in balancing. It happens all the time. the way that I always approach this problem is the side that has the 3, that's an odd number. And that odd number is what's causing us trouble to try to balance. So we want to make it even. And the way to make an odd number even is to multiply by 2. So this is a little bit complicated by the fact that oxygen is in 2 places. So we have to think about which of these 2 places is making it odd. So this is a subscript 2. So this is an even number already. This is not the source of the oddness. This is only a 1. So, yep, you found it. That's the problem. That's what's causing this to be an odd number. So this is the one that we're going to want to multiply by 2. So I'm going to put a coefficient 2 in front of that. And of course, that does have to apply to the carbon as well as the oxygen. So 2 times 1 is 2. And then over here for my oxygen, now instead of being 1 plus 2, I'm going to put a line through that. We're going to be 2 plus 2 equals 4 because I have 2 oxygens here and then the 2 oxygens here. But that is actually good news because you probably noticed already that although we changed the number of carbons where it looked like they were balanced and they're no longer, if I put a coefficient of 2 in front of CO2, everything is going to balance out beautifully. So 2 times 1 is 2. Very nice. That checks off. Then 2 times 2 is 4, which matches the 4 that we have down here. And we are good to go. So our balanced equation here is 2CO plus O2 makes 2CO2. And now that we have a balanced equation, of course, it's time for us to do the rest of the problem, which is to figure out the mole ratio. So we always want to go and we want to figure out what do we know and what do we want to know. So first off, what do we know? Then what do we want to know? So let's look at the text here. It says how many moles of carbon dioxide will be produced by reacting 0.5 moles of carbon monoxide with excess O2. By the way, this word excess, this just means extra. So it means that you're not going to run out of O2 in this equation. You have more than enough. So what do we know? The thing that has the number is what we look for to find out what we know. So 0.5 moles of carbon monoxide, that's what we know. So we're going to write 0.5 moles of carbon monoxide. And then what do we want to know is the thing that says how many, right? So how many moles of carbon dioxide? So these are similar, but not exactly the same. That little subscript 2 makes a difference, right? So this is, we want to know how many moles of CO2. So now that we've figured out what we know and what we want to know, we're ready to set up our conversion. So of course, our conversion always begins with what we know over 1. So we're going to go 0.5 moles of carbon monoxide over 1. And then we're going to set up our mole ratio. So remember that a mole ratio always has moles on both the top and the bottom. And the thing that's going to change is the substance, right? Moles of what, right? So we always want to make sure that whatever we had to begin with in this set of parentheses goes on the bottom of the next set of parentheses because we want to cancel those units out. Those are not the units we want. So we need to cancel them. So we have to make sure they go on the bottom. And then moles of what we're trying to find out about, what we want, are going to go on the top. So moles of CO2 go on the top. Now I can go back to my balanced equation. And remember, the whole reason we balanced it is because we need those coefficients to fill in the numbers in front of the moles. So I'm going to look for CO2, and it's right here. And the number in front of it is 2. So I'm going to put 2 moles of CO2. Then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to look for carbon monoxide, CO. It's right here. And the number in front of it is also 2. So I'm going to put a 2 there. So now I can go ahead and cancel out my moles of carbon monoxide because we have the same thing on the top and the bottom. We have the unit we are looking for over here. So moles of CO2 matches what I have on the top here. This means that I'm ready to do my calculation. So 0.5 times 2 is just, here we can write 0.5 times 2. Actually, here, I'm going to write it on the next line. I don't have enough space. So we're going to have 0.5 times 2 moles of CO2. That's the top. The bottom, I'm going to have 1 times 2, 1 times 2. Now see how I have 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom? That means I can cancel these out. So this simplifies to 0.5 moles CO2 over 1, which is just 0.5 moles of CO2. And that, my friends, is our final answer. So hopefully this helped you guys. And if not, please make an appointment with me during office hours and I will be more than happy to help you individually. Thanks. Bye.